Have a look at this little swamp. This is called Jordan's Hole. No idea what's in here, I haven't fished it for years. But one thing that I have always wondered is how deep it is. I don't need to know how deep it is, it's not going to affect my life, but I want to know just out of curiosity. So now that I've got this deeper unit, I thought, why not have a crack at Jordan's Hole while I'm driving past and just see how deep it is. For those of you that watched the last video that I made about this deeper unit, there it is. Look at the size of it. That can fit in my tackle box. That's all I need. I can take it boat fishing, bank fishing, or just exploring like I am now, just feeding my curiosity. That's the deeper unit. It has 3 settings on it. Shore based, which is where I've got that rigged with a little Hawaiian snap. Casting from a bridge so that it sits on the right angle if you're vertical. And this one here is from a boat, so you can just have it hanging out the side of your boat like that as you trawl. This is the bracket that holds my phone on there, because if you saw my first video, you'll know that this fish finder here, the deeper fish finder, sends a signal via Wi-Fi to my phone, which is there or in my hand or wherever I want to put it. The older deepers run on Bluetooth, and I believe the Bluetooth is good, but I have been led to believe that the Wi-Fi sends a clearer signal and gives more detail because it can transfer more data. So let's show you how this works. Firstly, this is the rubber bracket that holds the phone onto my rod. You don't have to use it, you can use it in your hand, you can get your wife to hold it, you can do whatever you like, but it's just more convenient, and you can have it in crossways like that. I just normally cast it out and just look at it that way, that suits me best. But if you want to have it crossways, you can rig it up crossways. All it is 2 rubber O-rings and a rubber bracket with 4 orange squares. You sit that on, you wrap the O-ring around one side and then the O-ring around the other, and that holds it into place. That's all I've done. And then you can do, like I said, you can do it more of a horizontal perspective. Now I'm going to turn this unit on. I've just pulled this out of the car. What I'm going to do is go into my phone. Now I'm going to go into my deeper app, and there it is. It says searching. So I've got to turn this on. And to turn it on, all I have to do is cast it into the water. The deeper is disconnected, so because it didn't find it in a certain amount of time. But now that it's in the water, I know it's on, and I hit this little Wi-Fi button, and pretty soon it'll say deeper is connected. Searching, searching. Might take a couple of seconds. Connected to Wi-Fi network deeper. Deeper Pro Plus. It's working and it's in 4.2 feet of water. That's all I did. You have just seen me do it right from the start. You cast it out to turn it on, and then you just go into your app and it'll search for it automatically. Or if you go into your app first like I did and then cast it out, if it takes too long to connect, as it does with any Wi-Fi network, you just have to hit the Wi-Fi button again to get it searching again. Now let's clip it into the bracket. All I have to do is put the corners over the corners, just like so. I've just bumped the button and gone out of the app, but that's okay. All I've got to do is go back in. That's the beauty of smartphones these days. Go back into deeper. And there we go. Too deep or too shallow? Oh, because it's drifted in towards the bank. So I'll just cast that out a little bit, just to get it working. So out there, right there, just that close to the bank, it's in 8 feet of water, or 7.5 feet of water, and it's 11 degrees. And you can see there's little bits of specks just showing up on the app now. What they will be the ends of these branches that are laying on the edge of the bank here. You can see the float just there, sitting out past them branches. These lines on the sounder here, these faint lines, will just be those skinny little twigs. That's just indicating that there's some snags down there. Right, so now we're working. Let's give it a cast out. I'm not expecting there to be too much on the bottom. Now, I'm going to put my hand over the phone. I don't think I need to, but I'm going to anyway. Right, that's out in the middle. How deep is it? Well, there you go, it's only about 15 feet. To be perfectly honest, I expected that to be about 100 foot deep. It's like an old gold mine here. Now look at that, you can see where I've just landed and it's dropped right down. And there's nothing down there. Look at that, a smooth bottom. There's no snags anywhere in the water column. Just a smooth bottom at 15 feet deep and 11 degrees. Let's reel it in a little bit. Okay, just reel that in about 6 feet. You can see that green disturbance there. That'll be from the float bouncing as I reeled it in. 14 feet, smooth bottom. You can see that bouncing up and down there now. And that's what these green lines are when you look at this. That is just the float bouncing up and down. 12.8 feet, smooth bottom. So it's like a giant swimming pool here. All the snags look like being around the edges and nothing out in the middle. So what that tells me is if I was to fish here for redfin now, I would be fishing around the edges where the snags are, because they're not likely to be out in the middle because there's nothing out there. There's nowhere for the yabbies and shrimps and stuff to hide to get away from the fish. Now as I get closer to the bank, even just there, it's come up to 10 feet. And the bottom's different. If you look down here in the deeper water in the middle, the bottom's smooth. Here it's different. It's a lot greener. There's a lot of green thick line there. I'd say there's a bit of crap laying on the bottom. Maybe leaf litter from these big tall overhanging gum trees up here perhaps. And here we go. You can see a few lines showing up halfway up. They are the ends of these trees and branches that are laying in the water that we saw earlier. Okay, let's reel it in. Now once that's out of the water for a while, that'll turn off after a short period of time. So I'm going to hold my phone and give another cast out, this time over that way. And it's working fine. 6.2 feet, quite a smooth bottom. Let's reel it back across. 6.7 feet, 7.3 feet. It's going down. As that comes across that open bit of water, it's getting deeper. It'll bottom out at some point, no doubt, which it looks like it has now. It's sitting at around 8 feet. It's now getting a bit shallower as we get closer to this bank. But there's no logs, there's no structure down there. It's very open. .7 feet. Pretty soon we'll start seeing crap on the sand, and here we go, there's a little bit coming across now. That's because it's picking up all that stuff off the bank there again, from just near the edge. That will turn off. That will turn off when it dries. Might only take 40 or 50 seconds or a minute or so. To turn this on, you just put it in the water. It's got a water sensor in it. A bit like the ballista lures. If you've seen the ballista range of lures with the red flashing light, once the lures hit the water, they are water activated, and the water triggers the red light to flash. That's how this works. Once this hits the water triggers the unit to come on and automatically send Wi-Fi signal back to this unit. That'll turn off in a short period of time. And then what will happen, this will automatically save them maps to here. So I can sit at home tonight and just go through what Jordan's hole looks like. Oh yeah, it's 15 feet out in the middle, I remember that cast, and over there it's that cast. I didn't need to know how deep that is, but I'm glad I did. Just by using this sounder now, I can tell you that it's about 15 feet out in the middle. There's a smooth bottom, there's not very many snags. Most of the snags are around the edges, where trees have fallen in over the last probably 150 years since the hole was dug. So if I'm coming here to chase redfin, I know where they're going to be. They're going to be around the edges of this water hole, feeding on little shrimps and minnows and stuff that'll be hanging around the branches, because that's where the food is for them. And that's where the whole ecosystem starts. You've got the microorganisms breaking down from these decaying branches, then the minnows come and feed on the microorganisms, then the redfin come and feed on the minnows. I know this place well now. Love it. Deeper. What an awesome design.